Okay, gonna do a video wishing everyone a happy new year. 2021 is upon us. Uh, with the current situation that's going on, none of us really know if things are gonna get better or not. And I think the only thing I can say is we have to be patient and wait out these next few months and see what happens. Okay, but I hope everyone have gotten through the holiday season all right and are ready to start a new year. I myself have been quite busy the last few months of the year with requests and a lot of questions, a lot of talking to people about different things. I did get as many requests out for different items, 6.5 Carcano, 6.5 Swede, and unfortunately, I got caught short on the 6.5 Japanese. I just can't get brass. I had bullets, primers, and powder, but no brass. So I kind of got wiped out in the brass department there. I did get a shipment about a week or so ago. I have to go sort things out. I'm trying to get the first grouping out, which is done. A lot of stuff that's on its way to people. There's a lot of multiple requests for different things. Like I said, 6.5 Japanese would be tough, but maybe I can get out, get a break in the weather. See, now my powder, see, I like run out of things like powder. The 7.35 Italian, I just don't have the powder. I have the components, but I don't have the powder to load there for the load that I want. So 7.7 might be next, and it's probably going to be, and that 8mm loaded down. I got a bunch of 8mm components that I can whip up something making a low pressure round for the 88 Gewehr rifle. So those might be the two things I do next in that department. Also, I'm trying to develop for these, I think it's 7.62 French long pistol cartridge. I've looked into and decided to experiment with a cast bullet with a gas check. The molds did show up from NOE bullet molds, and I just need time to sit down and go and do some serious casting, both with the new bullet there and also because of many numerous requests just for either bullets or ammo, my cast bullet load and the 6.5 Carcano, which is extremely popular, and there's a lot of people out there asking about it. So I'm going to work on that also. A couple other things. With this crisis and with the uncertainty politically, and because of censorship I can't say, but with the havoc being wreaked upon us globally with the current health situations, I'm hoping that within a few months all of this will sort itself out. But it is quite unnerving, the uncertainty, and a lot of the things going on globally are making life difficult for everyone. And not so much just in the shooting sports, just life in general for most people around the world, okay? So, when you get stuck in a time like this, like I said, I'm really limited on things I can do. I did a lot of work with the Carcanos when it was hot, got a lot of things going. Now, when I get to a point where, like I've said, I just can't get components to do certain large-scale projects, I go back to some that I shelved a while ago and try to renew it and do some work there, because now I have the time, okay, to do it. One of them was the Chaspo needle fire rifle, okay? And I think what I intended to do years ago, my wife bought me this rifle as a birthday present 9 years ago. I have gone out and fired it. I've done a lot of research. I've done some experimentation on getting a cartridge for it. and I've watched what other people do and have gotten more information about the original cartridge. And I did get the bullet mold from Accurate Molds that makes the original bullet as per the drawings that are available. I'm going to do a series on that, how to check out the gun, how to determine your headspace. I've got information from people in France and that I've accumulated over the years, had translated and figured out. I'm going to do a little renewed effort and see if I can't get back out onto the range. And I will do a step-by-step group of videos showing you how I come about and how I make some tools and the techniques I use to do this. So that's there. Another video I'm going to make, the individual that made the little single shot block adapters for the Carcano rifle. I did a video on that and tested it. He's made one for the French Berthier rifles, and this here was a prototype of one for the Austrian M95 rifles. He sent me this to test because the individual that designed this designed it from a clip, but he does not have a rifle to test it in. So he sent me a prototype. These are not in production yet, and that's what I was working on also this past couple weeks, is taking our little rifle here, and I went through my whole collection, about 7-8 different guns, and ran them through the test. And I will do a separate video on that, but be aware he does not have them ready yet. This was a prototype. I did the testing for him, and actually it was quite successful. So another product which can help you out, and I'll do a separate video on this. Okay, really cool. Another thing that struck me, just, I'm sitting there trying to get caught up. The holidays are over, and just trying to relax. And I remember back in the days of the, they call it the assault weapons ban, high capacity magazines and that, way back in the 90s when they had that. It was a pretty frightening time, and I knew people going out with like an M1 carbine. A guy was loading it into his car to go to the range, and the neighbors called the police on him, and it was really screwed up. And so I decided, long before YouTube or people knew who I was, but people locally knew I had these guns and I liked shooting them. So I kind of put back all of that stuff and stepped away, not to draw attention to myself. And luckily, after 10 years, this whole thing went away. But that's when I decided, you know what, get into black powder. It's going back further in history. I mean, I know there are certain people that's all they do. Okay, and I have a suggestion. I believe I'm going to make a video on it where you still can go shooting, because you can still purchase these black powder replicas. And I mean, they make just about every version of Colt or Remington pistol out there that was historically made. Even, I guess, the Stars and some unusual ones. But the Italian companies do make these replica pistols. Resale, if you really get into it, you got to look at it as buying it to keep it the rest of your life, because resale on these things is horrible. Nobody will give you nothing for them. But you can get these guns. They're not terrible. You can catch them on year-end sales on Midway, Cabela's, or, they even on the gun broker, there's wholesalers that sell these different guns. And the thing about them is, even though they're old style antique weapons, now these Remingtons are nice, you can still get black powder substitute, lead balls, and caps to shoot these. So I'll make a video explaining all that in detail, but it's something to think about. While there's shortages and paying all this damn money, go buy one of them guns, do some research, figure out how to load them and shoot them. It's not that difficult. It's kind of a lot of fun, and you can go out and enjoy shooting a handgun, or even if you wish, you can go with some historic Civil War muskets or whatever, or even if you got deep pockets, go for them sharps, paper cartridge guns, or root around the auctions and see if you can find some used ones. I mean, nowadays it's kind of tough. Rock Island, a lot of the auction houses and gun broker, do have them, but go to the auction houses and you might be able to find a deal on some of these. They're not used that well, and get them fairly reasonable. They're fun, but I'll do a separate video on that. So basically that's what I'm going to be working on. I did do some work with the Verndals and the Dutch Beaumont. Got some ammo. I just haven't had time to go to the range. So I'm going to try to get some range time in. I'm going to try to fire that Steyr 1888, 1888-90, whatever the hell that thing was that they sent me from Royal Tiger, and try to knock some of the crud out of the barrel with some very low power jacketed bullets, smooth it out, and then I may go in to doing a reload. And especially for those guns, it's a cast bullet. I think the maximum rating on the pressure of those older guns is about 40,000 psi, and I really don't know if I can come up with a jacketed bullet load down in that lower end there to be safe. But you can in the M95s. The M95s are way stronger actions and can handle standard loads in there. So I'm going to do some work on the old Austrian guns again. And also what ties into the work on that is the work on the Kropacek as it's called, that rifle system. I kind of figured out how to make up some brass, and I got the dies finally after years of looking for them. And I'd use a smokeless load in it with a cast bullet, or maybe even a jacketed bullet load's going to be tough because the bullet will be extremely expensive. So that's something in the back of my head, another project I'm working on. So that's about it. That's a good representative of what's going on. Like I said, I got a little wore out here towards the end of the year. An awful lot of things going on, an awful lot of communication with people. And also I've gotten a huge influx of converting the Vetterlis to center fire. I guess the popularity of these rifles has kind of taken off again. So I've gotten a lot of requests to do conversions, and some people do ask for the ammo, which is a bit on the pricey side, but there's a lot of work to be done to do it without fireforming it. It's time consuming. You do lose brass, you do lose it that way, so it's not a simple process or an inexpensive one like a lot of people wish to believe. Very simple, easy, and that. Yeah, you can do something like that, but you're not going to get the same results that I do. Okay, it's simple as that. Like I told you all before, I don't look at cost or inconvenience. I look at results, the end results of getting the best cartridge, most accurate cartridge out there. That's what I kind of strive for. If you wish to go the other route, which there's nothing wrong with it, just don't direct any questions or expect me to do substandard work on any of these projects. Okay? That's about all I have to say about that. Well, anyway, like I said, just wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year and give you an idea of what I'm going to be working on in the next few months. Thank you, stay tuned, and thank you for all the support that has been coming my way.